intro again. I introduced Fred at the beginning of this, but I've known Fred for many years. And what's interesting is that for at least 10 years, Fred has been talking about these kind of pillars of health that are out there in terms of, healthcare, these diseases that people carry. And then when you look at what happened with COVID-19, so many people who had comorbidities that Fred has mentioned in the past were having problems with COVID-19. And so then Fred had created Rejuvenan, and what was very interesting about that was that he was able to look at wellness and put it together with telemedicine, and this COVID-19 occurred, and telemedicine has become a big thing. So I'm looking forward to Fred's presentation. Fred, why don't you let us, talk about, what your vision is of the healthcare space right now, telemedicine, and give us an update on Rejuvenan. So. Great.
Let me share. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for giving me this opportunity again. Marty has been very nice over the years when I started this company and trying to build it. But anyway, let me see if I could, I think this is it. Let's see.
Great. And do you want to put it on a slideshow, which makes it a bigger screen?
Yep. Okay. I'm going to put it on the slideshow and start from the top. Now, let me make this smaller. All right. I'm going to fly through a lot of the slides because if somebody wants to go into details, I can give them this. I can give you the slides, or we can talk at some point, or you can talk to our bankers, as I'll show his name at the end. Essentially, what happened with this COVID-19, but even before that, telemedicine, telehealth, ability to use digitized approach to health, to delivery of healthcare, is becoming very popular. It has become now the front door to healthcare. Let me see, how do I go forward here? All right, sorry. This is, of course, the legal notice. My lawyer said you've got to show it very quickly. I'll fly through it. Essentially, we've got a very senior team and been there and done that before. My background is, I think you heard, that you can look me up, but bottom line is that I've been building companies for a long time. I'm a scientist by background, biochemist, physical chemist, and quantum physicist, and then got an MBA from Columbia and got involved in business side of things and started building companies, became one of the early venture capitalists, and switched about 20 years ago to actually building the companies as opposed to just funding them. I've been lucky to have had been involved with over 60 IPOs. 7 of the companies that I was co-founder, 3 of them became $1 billion in size. And some of them you probably know, Cirrus Logic, which if you got any kind of electronics around you, you got one of my chips in there, and cell phones and what have you. Bluebird Bio, which was the first company in the gene therapy area, replacing bad genes with good genes. And I couldn't give it away 10 years ago. And now it's worth over $8 or $10 billion in market value. I'm very happy about some of that development. Anyway, the rest of the management, I think very talented. Rishi is a first-rate doctor, emergency care doctor, who was very technologically oriented, who was the head of development of all the technology for medical side of things at the University of Penn. And Bob Brook is a long-term, 30-year plus healthcare leadership position in all kinds of various places, particularly United Healthcare, knows this whole area of healthcare delivery systems extremely well. Tom Okarma built 2 other companies with me. Both of them became sizable, $1 billion size, so I'm hoping this would be a repeat between us, and so on and so forth. Let me see if I could. This slide will summarize what I'm going to tell you, then it allows me to really jump through a lot of the slides and create some time for answering any kind of questions that you may have, particularly post-COVID questions. We offer really a complete health solution, the sick care and the well care. The problem that we face in America today and around the globe, it's not only unique here, US healthcare is fragmented, expensive, unfriendly, Our doctors really treat the disease. That's the disease-based learning that they do in medical school, not health learning. They don't understand health, quite honestly. They're beginning to, and they're spending a lot more time on it. We have 250 doctors in our roster who we've been teaching the health side of it, and they've really come along and wonderful about it. So the idea is to really treat the whole person, not just the disease. The chronic diseases, some of the facts that are very important, account for 75 cents in every dollar we spend in healthcare. And they are the ones who are really the bane of human existence. And you saw it in the elderly in particular, and you saw what happened to them at the COVID area. Allopathic medicine, pill dispensing medicine, has basically failed curating this thing, or curing this thing rather. Diseases are just not capable of being solved by just giving you a pill to go home. They require a lot of different things. As you brought the name of Dale Bredesen, who wrote The End of Diabetes, and no, The End of Alzheimer, which is a great book, by the way. I recommend everybody to read it. He talks about having about 37 holes in the roof, and then they just plug one of them. The drain is gonna pour from the other side. It's a collective work. If you go see a doctor and this dermatology, he gives you some stuff, or she gives you some stuff, and then its influence on the rest of your body, you don't know what's going to happen, instead of really taking this whole holistic approach to it. Bottom line is that I think what happened with COVID-19, it blew the cover out of our failed healthcare system. I cannot believe that in 21st century America, with all of the might and everything, we just got caught with our pants down, frankly. It's just terrible. And, you know, so as a result, people are going to be looking into working for themselves, understanding themselves, worrying about their own health, because frankly, out there, if you go into the system, just like one of the elderlies that I just was unfortunately one of my family members who got caught in one of the hospitals. He was 87 years old. It was good as dead in 2 days. It's just horrible what has happened. And I think there's a huge lesson to be learned out of all that. Now, what is our solution? It's a whole healthcare. This is personalized telemedicine and telehealth, both wellness and illness on the same axis of delivery. We have a bunch of things that I'll talk to you about, but we score your health by our initial conversations with you and getting you onboarded. And then from there on, drive you to better health. We use a lot of technology, including AI and blockchain and what have you. As a result, it made, after 3 iterations of the platform, which is elegant platform, I think, is now at the point where we can deliver care at a very reduced price at a very effective way. Anyway, it took 5 years of nonstop work, as Marty and some of the people that are on the phone could tell you, who've known me, in a labor of love. So medicine is suddenly, telemedicine has become the front door. We are one of the front door drivers. Let me see. Now, that's what I was telling you. The whole care is the way we were going to go about it. And some of you have seen this graph that I showed. This is from Stanford. Basically, when a child is born in America, to the age of 30, all of us get to be our strongest. We have got all the chi, all the power in life. And then you go downhill that gray line that goes way down. And by the time you get over the age of 60, what happens is that you get all of these diseases accumulating. Their cumulative effect of comorbidity starts getting you. That's really what happened to the elderly in the COVID problem. Now, if you went on the top line there and it just followed the kind of thing we're promoting, and the literature is full of kudos for this and approval of it, the idea is you can go live longer and you can live a lot healthier. And so at the very end, a month or so, you just drop. So you have a very good death as opposed to bad death. I often say I would like to die young, but as late as possible. I don't want to die old as late as possible. I don't want to die old definitely as early as possible. And that's really where we go for it. Anyway, this picture basically says we wellness platform and the telemedicine platform, we brought it together. Together is what we are trying to deliver. Our clinical wellness program, I don't want to go over the details of it. Again, I can send you these slides if you wanted to go into details. But basically, there is a huge important science that came around in 2009 called telomere biology. And the other science that has been around that's called mitochondrial science. So those of you who've got scientific background will understand what I'm talking about. But the telomeres, essentially, they're the tails at the end of our chromosomes, 23 chromosomes. And the longer they are, the healthier we are. The shorter they are, the sicker we are. And what is even more exciting, scientists have discovered how to lengthen these things, in other words, make you more healthy. And so those are the information that we put together in building Rejuvenan. And essentially it comes to 4 pillars of nutrition, fitness, stress, and community. So if you have the good phytochemicals that you eat, organic, hopefully, if you stay fit, exercise at least half hour a day, and you manage your stress from a lot of different ways. You can do it, meditations and yoga, and more importantly, some of the new products that are on the market to help you with it. And then if you have social support, the family, friends and all that stuff, people who are alone, they usually die and have a lot of problems. You probably know couples who live together 50 years, one of them dies and the other one follows in a very quick fashion within the year. The mortality rate of those people are very high.
Greg, we have about 10 minutes left for your presentation. Can you talk a little bit about telemedicine and how you were impacted by all these changes, or did it impact you and your ability to deliver service?
Right. What has the way we've been going with it along the way comes COVID, but they've now realized that this is in the middle of the night they want to call and they want to be able to talk to someone instead of going to emergency room, or instead of going to the doctor's office and sitting around for an hour to find out what's going on with them, and meanwhile could catch some kind of a disease, particularly with COVID-19 around. They didn't want to go there. So we got so many orders suddenly. As I sit in here, we're dealing. I'll show you actually a slide at the end quickly. I won't go through these slides, but basically, let me just say that the way we impact them, and we got impacted with this thing, is they will go through a Rejuvenan experience.